Ian Anthony Dale.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing? This is Bay from Total Gym Radio.
I'm good. How you doing, Bay?
Good, man. Good. Hey, I'm excited by this interview, but, you got to be even more excited, and not because you're talking to me, but because you got this great new show in your hands.
I do. It's always exciting to be launching a new show and seeing how it does week in and week out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I started watching it last night. I got the first 2 episodes in, and I am hooked. I didn't want to go to bed last night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh man, I want to do another one, but I got to get up to work the next day.
I hear you. That's this is one of those shows that is kind of perfect for binge watching. In fact,
yeah.
My friends who said, hey, you know what, I'm sorry I haven't gotten around to watching it yet. I said, that's okay, Let 3, 4, 5 pile up on the DVR and then, make a marathon out of it, because that's the type of show that it is. It's a season-long murder mystery, and that's that's one of the best ways to enjoy it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's maybe it's me, but that's something new. They usually don't do like the same major like crime story for a police show through the whole season like that.
It is fairly new. We saw it in True Detective. We saw it on The Killing on AMC, and so it's starting to happen more and more. Personally, it's a format that I really enjoy. I think it's more accurate to how homicide investigations really play out. They take time. My brother is a homicide detective for the Minneapolis Police Department, and
oh, wow.
He shares with me his cases, and they sometimes last months, sometimes years.
Sure.
And so, having this type of format, I think, gives an audience a more accurate kind of depiction of the way things really are.
Yeah, it's not all summed up in an hour show.
Exactly right. It's not conveniently tied up at the end of an hour. Exactly.
And I think too, it really helps build the case for it being called a drama. Because each week you have the drama is slowly unfolding, and it's kind of suspenseful as well.
It is. Especially when the main suspect in the investigation has such power, influence, and then in this case, youth and arrogance. And it's so interesting to see how the blue collar world of law enforcement and detectives battles against this this white collar tech youthful genius, and it's these different worlds colliding, and it's a game of one-upmanship and who can outsmart the other. And so, yeah, it's another element to the mystery that really kind of pulls you in. I hope people are enjoying it.
They have to. Seriously, and I'm not blowing smoke. Seriously, I thought it was great. And another thing that I really think added to the whole story was where Tay Diggs' wife was. You started right out of the gate where she's sick and dying, and in the second episode, spoiler alert, the inevitable happened. But
right.
I think that helped not only help define his character, but it added a lot more drama to the story.
Absolutely. Stephen Bochco and Eric Lodel are executive producers and writers. They did an excellent job crafting a show that really combined a grand mystery with a character drama. And, I think what people will come back to week in and week out is wanting to solve that mystery and wanting to find out who done it, but at the same time, wanting to learn more about these characters and continue to become invested with them. And that's, Stephen Bochco created this genre. It's not, birthed it. He certainly had a huge influence over his career, and so he really knows how to carefully craft a nuanced drama with great characters, and I think he's done a great job of that with the show.
Right. Now, how about too, being on TNT, you guys, and I think too with the 10 o'clock time slot, you guys get to push that envelope a little more with whether it's the language or the situations. Do you think that definitely helps make it more of a realistic show and realistic drama compared to if it was like on a major network like an ABC or an NBC?
Certainly. I mean, anytime you can take greater risks, it typically means that you're able to show more of the way things really are. I know that we I think we show ass in the first 5 episodes in some capacity, and maybe it's more than that. But
there was I think in the second episode there was dead ass and alive ass in the second episode.
Yes, multiple stages of living dead ass on our show. But no, I mean, it's nice to be on a network like TNT where we get to take more risks and we get to create kind of a world that feels more authentic, and I love that about cable. This is my first show as a series regular on a cable network, and I'm really happy to be on TNT. They're putting out some great stuff right now.
They really are. And as a matter of fact, I was going to mention that, like, your guys lead in Major Crimes. We've had Tony Dennison on our show multiple times. We've had Kieran Giovanni on for Major Crimes as well. I mean, that's a great lead-in for you guys. That's got to be helpful as well for the ratings. Oh,
it's tremendous. I mean, it's one of their flagship shows, and it's such a strong performer. And we're really lucky to have it as our lead-in. And our show's a little different, but it also fits in that same kind of armchair detective category, and you would assume that people who enjoy Major Crimes would also enjoy our show, and so I think it's a smart pairing on TNT's choice. Absolutely.
Now, how about with Hawaii Five-0? I mean, that was another TNT show. Are you going to still be on that show as a recurring character? Or?
Well, I can't really speak about that at this moment in time. My current job is with Murder in the First, but I've had an unbelievable experience working on 5-0, and certainly if there's a way to to have me back, I would be delighted to continue my arc. But you just have to wait and see on that one.
Now, how about, got to ask, I mean, you were in probably one of the most iconic movies of the last decade with The Hangover.
Oh, yeah.
How was it, I mean, seriously, filming them scenes with Mr. Chow? I mean, how could you not laugh your ass off, seriously?
Well, if you've ever seen the outtakes from that movie, it's either, it might be on YouTube, but it's definitely on the DVD. I think it's called The Madness of Mr. Chow or something like that, or The Madness of Ken Jeong or something like that. And it's all his best stuff that never made it into the final cut. And you'll notice that when he's going off, I'm just sitting there laughing my ass off next to him. I couldn't hold it together for shit. I was terrible. But it was so fun to work on that movie, and I mean, he's hilarious. He's one of the funniest people I've ever had the chance to work with, and one of the funniest people I know, and certainly working on that, he had me in stitches the whole time. But yeah, it was fun. His creative timing and what he's able to come up with is really, it's fascinating.
Now, I mean, you guys, you couldn't have expected for it to turn out the way it did with that movie.
No. Todd Phillips, great director, has had really successful movies in the past, but nothing to the scope of The Hangover 1 and then obviously the subsequent films. So yeah, I thought it would maybe do, maybe like 100 million, possibly like Old School did. That's probably the best case scenario. But to see it do what it ultimately ended up doing numbers wise was just it was pretty surreal and really what an exciting fun ride to be on when that came out.
I'm sure.
And it's been really good. It's been really great for my career just to have been a part of a movie like that. It's definitely a highlight on the resume.
I'm sure. Now I got to ask too, because my co-host, he couldn't make it this afternoon for the interview, but his all-time favorite show, which you were on one time, Angel. So I got to throw that in there. That's all he kept saying was he was like, that dude was on Angel. That's all he kept saying to me.
If he actually remembers me from the episode, then he is a hardcore Angel fan, because I think I was probably on screen. I think I was on screen for maybe 5 seconds. My character was drugged vamp number 3. So basically I played a vampire who would shoot up hookers with heroin and then suck their blood that had the heroin in it. So
wow.
David Boreanaz's character comes looking for somebody, and I'm like sitting in the corner sucking on some hooker's neck. And he comes and asks me a question, and I just kind of disregard what he asked me. I think I say something to him like, "Hey, I'll give you the girl for $1 gram," or something like that. And I think that was my one line. But yeah, that was one of the first jobs I ever did. I can't believe if he's seen it, then he is definitely a hardcore Angel.
I'm telling you, I guarantee, because this guy. And this is no lie. I don't know how he does it, but he averages watching TV about 120 hours a week.
How do you do that? Does he sleep?
No, he don't. That's the thing.
Oh my God! I mean, I barely have enough time to get in like maybe 5 right now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
I'm very jealous of him. Trust me. I don't know how he does it.
I don't know how he
literally has. He literally will have either 2 TVs going or TV and watching on laptop. I mean, he just loves television, and he remembers all this obscure stuff and knows all this stuff. And it's not like he's watching it and not soaking it in. He soaks it all in on top of it.
That is really impressive, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Man, 100 hours a week. Who can put that much time into anything for a week?
Exactly.
I don't think I sleep. I don't think I sleep that many hours per week.
It was funny because he about a month ago he actually started totaling up his DVR hours each day, just for shits and giggles, and it was almost 120 hours a week.
Wow, that's impressive. So where is he right now? Somewhere watching the TV?
You know what? I think he's probably sleeping. Unfortunately,
he pulled an all-nighter watching TV, and then
he does.
And then he's sleeping now. Yeah,
he does. I'm out in Philly, so when I'm getting up at like 6 a.m. and I'll get online, he'll still be up, and he's in Arizona, and I'm just like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Watching TV."
Watching TV.
Watching TV.
Got to keep his finger on the pulse.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, and as a matter of fact, I mean, like talking about like your resume. Do you feel like now, as you're made a lieutenant on a police show, like it's starting to like pay off, like you're getting higher roles and stuff like that?
I think, it's just a matter of putting in your time and paying your dues and always trying to do your best work every opportunity you get, and eventually, if you stay in line and stay relevant enough, you'll start to get some meatier opportunities. And certainly in the last several years with shows like The Event, and then my role on Hawaii 5-0, and now this show, I'm finally starting to see those rewards, the fruits of labor, and and it's nice. It feels good. And all I can do is do my best work with these opportunities, and hopefully I can continue to make a living at this acting game. I certainly enjoy it. Yeah.
And you also do voice acting for video games, it looks like?
Yeah, I got into voiceover acting in the last couple of years. I just decided, well, why not? Let me set up a mic in my office and send in some auditions here and there, and I've gotten lucky. I've been able to do a few video games, so it's fun. It's different. It's very different. You don't have that interaction with your castmates. You go into a voice booth all by yourself, and you have a director kind of explaining the scenario leading up to the line you have to say, and then you just say it a few times and move on to the next line. But it's fun nonetheless, and I've gotten to be part of some cool games thus far.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's weird because my daughter, she's very into either the video games. She's really into the whole world of anime, and she knows like all these voice actors, which is beyond me because I wouldn't think about like putting two and two together. Like, hey, there's actually a real person behind those characters doing those voices. But she knows all these voice actors, and it's like, wow, it's like giving them finally like the credit that they're due.
Right. Yeah. It's such a huge community. I mean, I thought breaking into the acting game was difficult. I mean, man, you go onto a website like Voice Bank just to look at all the demo reels, all the the voice demo reels, and it's endless. It's absolutely endless. You're like, how am I going to compete in this world? Where I'm such a newbie. But all you can do is give it your best shot, and hopefully something good happens. Yeah. Awesome.
All right. So Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, Murder in the First. So it looks like there's 10 episodes for the season?
Yes, we have 10 episodes in this first season. We've aired 3. We got 7 more to go.
Nice. I'm excited. Yeah. I can't wait now. You got me hooked.
Hey, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that.
Very good. Now we're going to get everybody else hooked. That's the job.
What's that?
I said now we have to get everybody else hooked because that's the job to do.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, that's your job. Now you get it out to the masses and get people tuned in.
I'm on it. Well, I want to thank you for your time. Anything else you want to add? Anywhere social media sites you want to put out there, or anything else?
Hey, if you want to follow the show and follow me, I'm at Ian Anthony Dale on Twitter. Also on Instagram, but Twitter's the main place to be able to stay updated with what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm not too up on this whole. I did the Instagram thing, and I'm not feeling it at all.
Yeah, it's interesting. My friends give me a hard time because I don't follow anybody on Instagram, and so whenever they follow me and they don't get a follow back, they're like, "What's the deal, man? Well, you don't like me?" And I'm like, "No, you don't get it. I don't follow anybody because I don't need another reason to have my head buried in my phone,
Right.
And so yeah. So if you do pop on Instagram and follow me, don't feel like I'm personally singling you out if I don't follow you back. Yeah.
That's the biggest way to offend people, though. That's like the world of social media. It's insane.
I know. I know. I'm not very savvy with it. And I haven't used it to the best of my ability. I just, and it's like you can play the game, and I probably should be playing it a little more tactfully, but it's just there's so many things I want to do every day that I don't have time to always be buried in the phone. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. It becomes a job. It really does. It's a full-time job. social media.
It really, yeah, it is. And I don't want to. I never want to be one of those guys who just hire somebody to send tweets out for me. That feels so artificial and inauthentic. And so, when I actually do tweet, it's coming from me. It's real, and it just doesn't happen that often.
All right, real quick before I let you go, though, can you cut a quick ID for me? This is Ian Anthony Dale of Murder in the First, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio. And you can even throw a boom in there, too, since it's TNT.
Okay, I could do that. All right. Hey, this is Ian Anthony Dale from Murder in the First, and you're watching Totally Driven. Oh, listening to or watching?
Listening.
Listening to? Okay, all right. Hey, this is Ian Anthony Dale from TNT's Murder in the First, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio. Boom.
Nice. Ian, thanks so much. Congrats on the great show. And, let's make this thing blow up.
Thanks a lot, babe. Appreciate it, man.
No problem, man. Take care and hope to talk to you again another time.
Sounds good. All right. Bye.
All right.